So you see, when Blakk Rasta speaks, I think that you need to humble yourself and listen. Same way I humble myself when others speak. You will be able to read the meaning in the fine writing. Now this gentleman here came with a mask. He took off the mask and then we saw his face. Now it looks like the second mask has been taken off and we are seeing the real him. Arrogant, not ready to listen to anyone or tolerate anyone. He believes he has money, and once you have money, you have wisdom. This is his level of thinking. Very mediocre. Listen to Nana Kwame Bediako. Only a couple of years back, Nana Kwame Bediako was seen on tape supporting Occupy Julobi. Only last year, my brother, my sister, Occupy Julobi house, he was supporting it. All of a sudden, my brother, my sister, it is organized by political parties, the so-called duopoly. Well, maybe at the time he didn't know. Now he has come to know that all these demonstrations are organized by the duopoly. In other words, the duopoly is behind all these recent demonstrations. And by recent, he meant the past 2 years or the past year. Now let's get a little bit more detailed. Nana Kwame Bediako says he doesn't support violence. Of course, we all don't support violence. But he goes ahead to say he doesn't support protests. If you have been able to endure all these 32 years, all these 40 years of political hardship and corruption, why can't you endure it any further, but rather go on the streets to make noise and also to be violent? Of course, it's clear. Nobody supports the violence. But even in the eye of the Constitution, protests are very, very important. How many times do we have to wait till protests happen and then we get what we want or what we demand? At least a big chunk of what we demand. When you go to America, you go to England, where this gentleman here, Cheddar, claims he plies his trade or he's been to, protests are the order of the day. Almost every month, you would find people protesting in one part of the country or the other. That is democracy. So if you have a man like this who tells you he doesn't believe in the youth going out there to demonstrate, all because we have endured hardship all these years and we must continue, you realize that this is not a guy who has enough knowledge of the system. True? May I get a little deeper? Does it really matter who is behind any protest? Or we have to look at the content of the protest? A gentleman walks up here. He organizes people and pushes them to come into a media general and protest on behalf of the workers here, Abiam and the rest of them, that their salaries should be increased. Mamiya's salary should be increased. Blakk Rasta's salary should be increased because all these people work so hard and bring home a lot of money. Therefore, it has to be reciprocated. We must have our salaries increased. Then I sit back and say, oh, because the gentleman belongs to a certain political party, I won't join this race. I think it is better to think about the cause. Is it a worthy cause? Does it really matter who is behind a worthy cause? Yeah, they are here and some are there fata. Is it important or is it necessary that the workers have a salary raise? And I just chose media general, arbitrarily. My brother, my sister, this is the level of thinking of this guy. Probably if you go to his workplace, everybody is gagged. Take a trip to the businesses Cheddar owns, you will be shocked that the workers are probably gagged. They can't open their mouths and talk because he doesn't like protests. What he says is final. You have endured it all these years. You must continue to endure it. Of course, I repeat, we do not support violence in any form. We have condemned violence in all its forms, but we endorse protests. My brother, my sister, Cheddar every day has to remove yet another mask to show the true him, the arrogant, ignorant Pan-Africanist in quotes. I leave him here. Those of you who go around saying Cheddar, Cheddar, well, a lot of you are beginning to see exactly who he is. Very ignorant, and at the same time, a Pan-Africanist who does not even understand the concept of Pan-Africanism. And finally, this is what he's thinking. Your protests are not necessary. You have endured it all this while. Hey, just stay like that and continue. Oh my God. Ha! Any which way. My brother, my sister, here is the voice of the patriot.